Hi, this is Marlooms Creations, and today I'm going to show you how to make the luggage on your rainbow loom. Today's tutorial is 2 looms or 4 pin bars set up in the straight configuration. And for today's tutorial, I'm going to be making a purple luggage, and for the main color, you're going to need 158 bands. You're going to need 10 gray bands to represent the handle of your luggage, and 22 black bands, or whatever color you want your zipper to be that goes around the luggage. I'm using black. So if you're using black, you're going to need 22 bands, 10 gray bands, 158 for the main color, and you can either use 4 pony beads for the wheels or 8 white bands. I will show you how to make a wheel if you don't have pony beads. So again, it's 158 for the main color, 10 gray, 22 black, and the 4 pony beads or 8 white bands. So let's get started. The thing you're going to do is set up your loom in the straight configuration, and this is how I set up mine. I have just 4 pin bars, and I put the big chunky piece in the middle holding 3 rows, and then the outside one is being held by the little one over here, and this is how I set up mine. And it's very sturdy like this. And once you have done that and make sure it's straight, then we can begin. So after you've set up your loom, you're going to grab the color that you chose for your luggage, and you are going to grab a single band. I'm using purple today, and you're going to place it on these 2 pegs, and then from here to here, again a single, and then again another single from here to here. So that's the only time we're placing single bands is on those. And now we're grabbing double bands, and we are going down using double 6 times. So once you have went down 6 times, you can fill in the rest of the ones and go down 6 times as well. So I paused the video and I filled in the rest. You should have went down 6 times on each row to match the first one that we did together. And you can pause the video now to fill them in. Once you have filled in all of these rows, the next step is we're going to add the wheels to the luggage. So first I'm going to show you how to do it with bands in case you don't have a pony bead, and you're going to be grabbing 2 bands at a time, but you should need, for this part, you're only going to need 4 white bands. So you're going to grab 2 white bands, and this is only if you want your wheel to be white. If you want your wheel to be a different color, then you choose 2 different colors. So I'm going to take these 2 white bands and I'm going to grab it and together wrap it around my hook 4 times. And then I'm going to grab 2 black bands and I'm going to transfer the white onto those 2 black bands. And then take your hook and grab the other loop, and you're going to place this on here like that. And you would repeat that. Take the 2 white bands and wrap it around your hook 4 times. Grab 2 black bands. Transfer these white bands onto those 2 black bands. And then you would place this set on this peg right here. And that's going to be your luggage wheels. But for today, I'm going to be using pony beads. So what I do is I just grab 2 pony beads, and I grab my black bands, I take my bead and it fits onto my hook, and I grab the 2 bands and I pull it through the bead, and then I grab the other loop and I place both the loops onto that peg. And the same with this one. Slide the band through the bead, grab the other loop, and place it on this peg right here. And now it's time to place the horizontal bands. So grab the color that matches your luggage, and I'm going to be using 2 bands at a time. And you're going to place 2 purple bands from here to here on those 3, and then from here to here on these 3 on the bottom. And then again, take 2, place it on these 3, and another 2, and place it on these 3. So we do overlap. And you can put just 1 if you want. I just like the way it feels with the 2 horizontal bands. So there's 2 here and 2 here on those 3. Two on these 3. And 2 bands on these 3. The same on these and these, and then the last one, and then we can loop. To loop, so you're going to take your hook, and where we place the horizontal band, there's this set and this set. You're going to take these first 2 bands and you're going to take it and put it over this middle peg right here. Just that middle peg. And then again on this one, take this band and bring it up and over that middle peg. Nothing goes over here. And once you have done that, and I can remove it to show you again, so we grab this one and we board it over this middle peg. And now you can reach in where your wheel is, make sure you're pushing back the wheel, and grab the bottom 2 purple bands and loop it to the peg above. And now you're going to reach in here, and there's 2 bands here, and then the bottom 2. Push the first 2 bands back, grab the bottom 2, and loop that forward. And push these bands down. Same here, there's these 2 bands, and then the 2 bands on the bottom. Push the first 2 bands back, grab the bottom 2, and loop forward. And over here, you're pushing the wheel back and grabbing the bottom 2. So push the wheel back with the black bands, grab the bottom 2 purple, and loop that forward. So you've completed this whole row, and now every time we enter a peg, we're going to be pushing back these bands that we placed. Push them back, loop forward, push these bands back, grab just the bottom 2, loop forward, push these, push this set, grab the bottom 2, loop forward. And now we've completed the second row. You can take your hook and release this band and this band. It's just pulling tightly. You can release those too. And you can even release the wheel if you want, but I just leave it like that. Now into this peg, push this band back, grab the bottom 2, and just loop forward. Again, pushing all these, grab the bottom 2, loop forward. It's just the same thing until we get to the top, and then the top is just a little different. Grab the bottom 2, loop forward. The same here, pushing that back, loop this forward. So now we completed this row, now on to the next. Loop this forward. Now this project, you have to do the same thing over another time. So after we loop this, we're going to make the exact same thing again, but the second set is going to have the handle added. Then loop this, and then it's all about stitching them together. So it's a little bit of a time-consuming project, not too hard though. So we loop this row, and I loop this one forward. You just push this back, loop forward, push this back, loop forward, push this back, bottom 2, loop forward. Now we're getting to the last row, loop, push this back, these 2 bands, loop the bottom 2, loop the bottom 2, again, loop these, and loop these. So take a second look at your project. You should have had looped all these rows, and they should look like a teardrop. And when you get to the top row, you're going to take the corner band and loop it to this peg right here, and the same here, the corner band, and loop it to that peg, and reach in here, and you're going to push back the first band, but grab the bottom 2 and bring it to the middle, to this peg actually. And once you've done that, you're going to take your hook, reach in through all these bands, and grab another single purple band of the color that you chose, and you're going to slide it through, bring it up, so you should have grabbed all these bands, place both loops on your hook, take the first loop, bring it over, pull on this one, and that is your slip knot. And now you can take your half of your luggage off of the loom slowly, and you will see what I mean in a minute. So we have to make the exact same one again, but the second piece is going to be where we add the handle, and then after the second piece, then we do a little stitching, and I kind of like it. I think it's fun. So there's your slip knot, and there's half of your luggage. And now we have to do this exact same thing again. And what you're going to do is, I'm not going to show you how to put all the bands again, because I think you can just rewind the video and you can copy every step, even up to where we placed the beads for the wheels. So you can rewind the video, watch everything again, just do not loop and don't add any cap bands. And then when I return, I will show you how to add the cap bands again and the handle. I'm just going to do it the second part with you, just in case there's confusion. So what we just did is we added a single band across these, the same way we did earlier. Just one single band across those 2, then these 2, and then these 2. And then we switch to our double bands, and we go down 6 times. And then just fill in the other ones. So I just paused the video and I filled in the rest. You should have it went down 6 times using double bands, just like before on all the rows. And once you have done that, we can add the wheels, and this time I'm just going to do the pony bead because I already showed you how to do the wheel. You just take the 2 white bands and wrap it around your hook 4 times. And I'm going to use just the bead and transfer it onto my doubled black band and place it on the corner. Grab my other bead and place it on this peg. And now, before we add the bands, the cap bands or horizontal, I'm going to show you how to make the handle. So for the handle, you're going to need some gray bands and some white bands. I'm sorry, gray bands and black bands. So grab your gray bands and black bands, and the first thing you're going to do is take a gray band, a single gray band, and you're going to wrap it around 3 times on your hook like this. I'm sorry, a black band, not a gray. So grab a single black band, wrap it around your hook 3 times, and then grab another single black, wrap it around itself so it's doubled, and transfer these bands onto that doubled over band, and then take the hook and go through that loop. So once you have done that, then grab your single gray band, and this is 1, you wrap it around itself, and you're going to pull it through, and then take your hook and grab the other loop. And the reason we do this by hand on the hook is because if you do it on the loom, the handle comes out all warped, and it just comes out a lot neater. Take another gray, wrap it around itself, take your hook, pull it through, grab the other loop. Another one, and the 4th, and then the 5th. So that's one handle, and you're going to place that on this second peg, and the handles go on the 2 inner pegs. So you take your loop and you place one handle there like that, and we're going to make that again. So take a single black, wrap it around your hook only 3 times, then grab another single black, wrap it around itself, transfer these onto that, take the loop, put it on your hook, and then you add 5 sets of doubled over gray bands. So this is the first, and you want to make sure that's even so it looks nice. This is the second, the third, fourth, pull it through, take your hook, grab the other loop, and the last set. And you can make the handle as long as you want. I just like this size. And then once you have done that, again, place it on this peg, so it's the second one. And then we can add the bands now to cap the second part of the luggage. And so we grab 2 purple bands, we place 2 here, and then again on those 3, and then we need to grab another 3, so we grab on that one to these. So it's you're capping 3 pegs at a time. So these 3 and these 3. These 3 three. These three. And these. This set. And this one. And then this one. And now we can loop. So again, we start at the bottom and we grab this first set of bands right here, this one here, and we bring just this part over this middle peg right here. You push these down so they don't pop over. And then again, this one right here, push it over to the middle, over the middle peg, and this stays on, those stay on. And then once you've done that, you reach in, push all the black bands back and the purple where the wheel is, grab the bottom two purple bands and loop forward. Again, there's this set here and the bottom. You're pushing the first purple set back, grabbing the bottom two and looping forward. The same here, this one gets pushed back, grab the bottom two, and you're looping forward. And then here, you push all the bands back where the wheel is, grab the bottom two purple, and loop forward. So we have completed the first row, and now on to this one. Just push back those bands, grab the bottom two, loop forward. The same here. Push all these bands back, loop these forward. And all I'm doing is entering each peg and the bands that are, I'm pushing these bands back and the bottom two I'm bringing forward. It's the same thing all the way to the top. So I did this row and this row. And again, you can release these two bands if you like. And now onto this row right here. Push and loop forward. So I've completed the other row. And now on to the next row. And this is why I like to use the jelly bands. I grab too much here. Because I feel that it's easier to grab. Although I keep grabbing 3 bands here. Just make sure you're only grabbing 2 bands and pulling it forward. And then grab these. Grab this one, loop forward. So we completed this row, now on to the next. We're just grabbing the bottom 2 and looping them forward. And now again, the same as before, grab the corner, bring it to the middle peg. And then this one, grab the corner, and bring it to the peg over. Then reach in here, push back all the bands, including the gray. So you're pushing back the top purple band, and then the 2 gray bands. Only the gray and the top purple. And then the bottom 2 purple bands you are bringing up and to the peg to the right. So you brought those bands to that part, and then you're going to take your hook and enter all those bands. Grab a single purple band and pull it through, and you're going to pull on this handle and go through with your hook through the loop and grab the other purple band and then you're going to pull it back through. So it went underneath the handle, and once you have both loops, you're going to take the first loop, bring it over, and pull, and there's your slip knot. And again, this is your second part of your luggage, so it's almost complete. We just have to do some stitching, and then you are done. Just pull on the bands to shape them better. And this is both parts of your luggage. And now it's time to stitch them together. So you're going to grab the color that you want your zipper to be, because that's what the stitching is going to be, like the zipper of the luggage. And you're going to just choose the two sides that you want facing each other. And then these little slip knots, what I do is if it's leaning on that side, I let them face each other, the two slip knots. That way when I stitch it, it gets hidden. And then you're going to take your hook, and we are going to begin on the corners. So you put them together, and you are going to grab, if this is the back and the front of the two pieces that are put together, this is 1, 2 bands, 1, 2, and then the inner one is the one we're grabbing, these two inner bands and these two inner bands. So it's the bands that run along the side of the luggage. And you're going to grab a single black, and you're going to pull that through, and when you pull it through, you're always going to keep one of the bands, one of the loops on your finger and the other one on the hook. So it should look like this. Then you are going to grab the other two, so the two here and the two here. And then take your hook and grab that other black band. Then grab another single black band and pull it through all those bands. And again, we're back at holding one loop on our hook and our finger. Then grab these two and these two. So two from this side, two from this side. And then grab the black loop again, the black band. Grab another black band. Going to grab another black band, and you're going to pull this black band through all of these bands. Again, we have one on our hook and one on our finger, and you're going to grab these two and these two, and then with the hook, grab the other loop. So you can see the stitching is starting to appear already. Grab another black band, pull it through, grab these two and these two, and then grab the other black band, and we do this all the way around. And then we grab these two and these two. And so you don't get confused, take those slip knots and pull them down. We should have hid them in between so that they don't get in our way, but pull them down so when it gets time to looping, they're not in our way. Then grab another black band and pull it through. And over here, just grab any two that you see here and any two that you see here. It's not perfect over here because we only use one band in the middle. So I grabbed another two on this side and this side. And then I'm going to grab another single black band and pull it through all those bands. And see the slip knot is in the way. Just grab any two on this side and two here. And don't go through the handle, meaning don't put your hook through the handle. I just have my hook in between the handle, but that's okay. I grab another black band and pull it through. And that's why, again, I like using the jelly bands, because it slides right through. And then grab these two and these two. Pull it through. And we are now grabbing these two and these two, the ones that run along the side of the luggage. Pull it through. These two and these two. Pulls it through. Grab these two and these two. Pull it through. Grab those and those. And then we are getting to the bottom. Pull another band through, and then just grab these two and these two. And then this is where I just grab another band and I just kind of hide it with it's still in your hook, all the bands. I just take another black band, I pull it through, and I put both loops on my hook, and then I create a slip knot at the very end. And you can turn your luggage inside out, and you can take that loop and hide it, and you can't see it anymore. So you just adjust your bands so that the luggage stands up. And now just to finish off the handle, for the handle you're going to take a single black band and wrap it around your hook only 3 times. Then take another black band, wrap it around itself, and transfer these 3 on here. And then wrap it around itself again. And pull these 2 through. And I think we did that 4 times if I'm not mistaken, just for the top part of the handle. So that's 3. Grab another. And then the last one I just I pulled a single band through and I created a slip knot. And these loops they only were wrapped around 3 times. You open them up with your finger and you slide the little handle on there. And the same with this one. I just take the loop and I pull it through so that I can get the band through. And then you can choose to wrap this around before. So you can take this loop actually before you enter it into this one right here, and you could wrap it around this part a couple times, which sounds confusing, but that's what I did. So I wrapped it around itself, and then I grabbed my hook and I opened this part up and I slid that little piece right here. And that's the look of the handle, and it looks like this when it's done with gray and pink, and that's what it looks like there. And this one I might have done a little longer, so maybe instead of 4 or 5, but you can always remove that and make it longer. So this is how yours will look. And what I did with this one to make it look thicker, I just added a cotton ball or a pom-pom inside, and it makes it look bubbly. And it should stand up if you have pony beads. And thank you so much for watching.